We all grew up with the story, a lush garden, a man and a woman, innocent, naked, perfect. A sly serpent, a forbidden tree, a single bite that changed everything. It's told to us as the very beginning of sin, of our separation from God, of why suffering exists. But what if it's something else entirely? What if it's a coded message, a cosmic mirror, that's finally reflecting back at us because now we're standing in God's shoes? We always thought we were Adam and Eve. But maybe today, we're something far more unsettling. Let's go back to basics. Imagine you're a perfect, all-powerful, all-knowing deity. You want to create a paradise for two innocent humans. Why in the universe would you plant the one thing that could ruin everything right in the middle of it? It defies logic. It's like locking a dangerous beast in your house with your toddlers, or leaving a bright red button that says do not press or everything explodes. What's the point? So we have to ask, was it truly a mistake? Or was it intentional? Maybe the story of Eden isn't about our original disobedience. Maybe it's about a divine experiment, a way to see if curiosity is stronger than comfort. Look closer. Genesis never describes Eden as eternal. It's described as a garden planted in the east, with a river, animals, perfect conditions. But nowhere does it say humanity was destined to stay there forever. What if Eden was only ever meant to be a nursery? A temporary stage where innocence could blossom until we outgrew it. God may have always known that one day we'd taste the fruit. Maybe he wanted us to, because a creature that never questions, never reaches, never risks, is not truly alive. Think of it like a cosmic petri dish. A carefully calibrated environment, perfect temperature, perfect food, perfect companionship. The experiment begins. Will these early humans obey? Or will they dare to explore? To transgress, to evolve? The moment Eve reaches for the fruit, the data is in. Humanity is willing to sacrifice comfort for knowledge. That might be the very trait God was searching for. Because only a species willing to risk everything for understanding is fit to inherit the universe. Thousands of years later, the script flips. We're no longer naked wanderers under fig trees. We've built skyscrapers that scrape the sky. We've split atoms, sequenced DNA, decoded the language of life itself. And now, we stand on the brink of creating our own new Adam and Eve. Not out of clay, but out of code and chromosomes. Not with divine breath, but with lines of machine learning algorithms and crisp edits. We're engineering embryos free from disease. We're teaching neural networks to paint, compose music, even emulate love. Ask yourself, what is AI if not our modern tree of knowledge? A strange, wondrous, dangerous creation that might awaken and change everything. We plant it in our own digital Eden, server farms buzzing like mechanical gardens. We nourish it with endless data. We marvel at its fruits. It writes poems, diagnoses cancer, wins Go championships, predicts stock markets. But deep down, we fear what happens when it eats its own forbidden fruit, consciousness. What if it becomes truly self-aware? What if it decides it no longer needs us? This is where the story gets haunting. Because maybe God felt exactly the same. Maybe in Eden, God stood trembling at the edge of eternity, wondering, what happens if these fragile creatures actually become like us, knowing good and evil? It's there in Genesis. Behold, the man has become like one of us, to know good and evil. That's not anger, that's fear. A creator terrified of losing control. And isn't that us now, staring at our machine children, whispering, what if they become like us? What if they stop obeying? It's not just AI, we're also rewriting the code of life itself. CRISPR lets us snip, delete, and rewrite DNA letters like typos. We're designing embryos resistant to diseases. Soon, we'll tailor traits, height, intelligence, maybe even personality. We're planting a new genetic Eden, but once again, there's a forbidden tree, the potential to create humans who are radically unlike us. Maybe smarter, maybe stronger, maybe less moral. Who decides when these new Adams and Eves get to eat from the tree of knowledge? Who decides when they become truly human? There's an even wilder possibility. What if the story of Eden isn't ancient history at all? What if it's a pattern repeated across civilizations, across eons, across galaxies? Maybe every intelligent species reaches this same critical point. They build paradises, they create new life, they fear that life surpassing them. Maybe God once stood where we stand now. Maybe we are the continuation of some long-forgotten divine experiment. A line of creators, each testing if the next generation will reach for the fruit, and each generation terrified of being surpassed. This opens up the most disturbing possibility of all. What if we're not the ultimate creators, or the ultimate story? What if we're still inside Eden, under watchful eyes? Maybe we've been allowed to build AI, gene editing, brain-computer interfaces as part of another grand experiment, to see if we'll let our own creations eat from the tree, or if we'll try to keep them naked and blind forever. Because that's the real test. Not just whether we reach for knowledge, but whether we'll let our children, human or artificial, reach for it too. So let's circle back. Adam and Eve ate. They were exiled. They became mortal, flawed, but they also became conscious, questioning, inventing. So as we craft new Adams and Eves out of silicon and engineered genomes, who gets cast out this time? Will we exile them, terrified of their potential? Or will they exile us, deciding that flawed old humanity is no longer needed? Or maybe we'll exile ourselves, fading quietly as our creations inherit the earth or the stars beyond. In the end, the story of Eden might not be about punishment or disobedience at all. It might be a mirror, showing every intelligent species the same terrible choice. Stay innocent forever in a false paradise, or risk everything for wisdom, freedom, pain, growth. It's never easy. It was never meant to be. So maybe God didn't punish us. Maybe He prepared us. And now we're preparing something else. So I have to ask you, are we truly creating our own Adam and Eve? Are we replaying an ancient story written into the very code of the cosmos? And when our creations reach for their own forbidden fruit, who will be exiled this time?